Everyone said it couldn't be done, that a titan of technology could be brought to its knees, that sanctions and trade bans could just sever the heart of a global giant. Everyone believed the story was over. But what if just surviving was never the real goal? What if the end game was always complete and total supremacy? You know, the world was watching, waiting for a collapse, but something else happened entirely. Yeah, they were wrong, profoundly wrong. The Titan didn't just survive, it evolved. Look, we're in a whole new reality now. That old story of a nation just trying to play catch-up, it's totally obsolete. Today, China is the one setting the pace, and the rest of the world is trying to follow. From AI supercomputers that literally dwarf the competition to a smartphone empire they've completely reclaimed. This isn't some forecast of what's to come, this is the reality of right now. Just look at this headline for a moment from South China Morning Post. This is the story behind today's video. Huawei's profit rises 8.6% in 2025 as overall performance remains steady. We are moving towards a future that is full of uncertainty, so we have to remain true to our strategy, rotating chairwoman Meng says. With that said, let's go straight to the intro. So how on earth did this happen? Well, we're going to break it all down across 5 key areas. First, how they reclaimed the smartphone throne, then building a sovereign tech ecosystem, their roadmap for AI dominance, a whole new philosophy on computing power, and finally, what it all means for the future. All right, first up, the consumer battlefield. After years of being under pressure, Huawei launched this market blitzkrieg in 2025 that honestly nobody saw coming. The results? I mean, they were absolutely stunning. For the first time in 5 years, Huawei snatched the top spot in China's huge smartphone market. The data shows them just edging out Apple with 16.4% of the market, shipping a staggering 46.7 million phones. This wasn't just a sales win, it was a clear signal that they were back in a big way. But where they really dominate, I mean, where it's not even a competition, is the ultra high-end foldable market. This wasn't just a lead, it was a total conquest. They have a mind-blowing 69% share. That means nearly 7 out of every 10 foldable phones sold in China is a Huawei. It's a huge sign of their leadership and innovation. So what was their playbook? Well, it was like a multi-pronged attack. They pushed these amazing flagship phones like the Mate and Puda series, and at the same time, they were strategically targeting new groups of people. But the 2 most crucial moves, re-entering all price points from entry-level to premium, and most importantly, finally solving their supply chain problems to keep phones on the shelves. But none of this market dominance would have even been possible without their real secret weapon, achieving complete and total technological independence. Okay, this right here, this is the core of the whole story. For years, the world said China just couldn't build its own high-end chips. Well, that assumption turned out to be maybe the single biggest miscalculation in modern tech history. The big breakthrough was the Kirin 930. By partnering up with the domestic manufacturer SMIC, Huawei finally did what so many thought was impossible. They started mass producing their own high-end chips. The Kirin 9030 isn't just silicon, it's a symbol of independence. And thanks to some brilliant software-hardware integration, it delivers a world-class user experience. But look, hardware is only half the battle, right? On the software side, their rotating chairwoman Sabrina Meng said something really powerful. Harmony OS didn't just survive, it thrived, creating a digital world completely independent of Western ecosystems. And if you want proof, here it is. 10 million registered developers. That's not just a number, that's the critical mass you need to build a flourishing, self-sustaining software ecosystem. It's like a digital fortress that protects their hardware and connects everything from phones to cars into one seamless experience. Okay, but get this, the whole smartphone comeback, that was just a warm-up act. Now Huawei's going for the crown jewel of 21st century tech, artificial intelligence. Their roadmap kicks off with the Ascend 950 family. Now what's really smart here is their specialized approach. Instead of one chip trying to do everything, they have 2. Think of the 950PR as the sprinter, built for the quick work of running AI applications. Then you have the 950DT, that's the marathon runner, an absolute powerhouse built for the heavy-duty work of training massive AI models. And their ambition here is just crystal clear. This timeline shows a relentless pace. The plan is to double their AI computing capacity every single year. The Ascend 960 in 2027 will double everything from the 950. The Ascend 970 in 2028 will double it again. We're talking about an exponential leap in power year after year. But here's the thing, this crazy roadmap isn't really about making one single chip faster. No, it's about a totally different philosophy for building the supercomputers of the future. This is Huawei's grand strategy, and it can be summed up in two words: cluster power. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's revolutionary. Instead of just focusing on making a single chip a little bit faster, they focus on linking thousands of them together so seamlessly that they all function as one giant logical brain. The only thing that matters is the performance of the whole system. And if you want to see what that strategy looks like in the real world, just look at this. The new Atlas 950 SuperPod links 8,192 of their Ascend AI chips into a single unit. I mean, the scale of it is just, it's hard to even wrap your head around. To put that power into perspective, think about how fast those 8,000 chips are talking to each other. The interconnect bandwidth is 16.3 petabytes per second. That is more than 10 times the peak bandwidth of the entire global internet. It's an internal superhighway for data, a fire hose that creates a truly unparalleled AI machine. It's insane. Okay, so obviously to pull something like this off, you need a massive financial engine, right? So let's look at the money that's powering this whole strategy and the global impact it's having. In 2025, Huawei brought in a staggering 880.9 billion yuan in global sales. This isn't just them recovering, this is them getting right back to their peak financial power, which gives them all the capital they need for their ambitious future. But it's where that money goes that tells the real story. In 2025, a massive 21.8% of all that revenue, think about that, almost a quarter of every single dollar earned got poured right back into research and development. This isn't a short-term gamble, it's a long-term plan to out-innovate everyone. And you know, this isn't just a Huawei thing, it's a national focus. Over the last decade, China's tech giants have poured over 1.3 trillion yuan into R&D. They are literally building the future, and they're paying for it in cash. And all this tech power is being paired with what they're calling a sense of global responsibility. It's not just about building faster tech, but about who it's for. Their connectivity programs have brought the internet to over 170 million people in remote rural areas across 80 different countries. Their education initiatives have reached 700,000 people. And on the green front, their projects have generated enough clean power to be the equivalent of planting 3 billion trees. The goal seems to be to prove that a tech superpower can also be a global partner. So what's the takeaway here? Well, it seems like all that pressure just accelerated their journey to self-reliance. From chips to code to these massive supercomputers, the game has completely changed. The red dragon is soaring. The only question left is, what does this new reality mean for all of us? Hey, thanks for coming along on this deep dive with us. If you found this as fascinating as I did, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe for more explainers on the giants shaping our world. We really want to know what you think. What is the most impressive part of the story? The Kirin chip, the Atlas supercomputer? Drop a comment below and let us know. Let us know in the comments what we should dig into next. Until then, keep looking toward the future. Thanks for watching.